Hello, I'm Dr. Kit Slies. I'm a psychologist and life coach, and I'm here to inspire your confidence, your self-compassion, and your growth. And today, I'm really talking to my perfectionists out there. You might be a perfectionist, an overachiever. We're talking about how to improve your self-acceptance. It's one of the biggest struggles for perfectionists is sort of feeling like you're never good enough. You're always reaching for that goalpost, and that goalpost, no matter how many times you get there, you're pushing it further and further ahead. So it can be very hard to sort of have self-acceptance, self-compassion, and to feel good and calm and at peace with where you're at. And one of the ways that perfectionists or really anybody can feel that peace, that calm, that feeling good enough feeling is by understanding your own internal or inner process. So, what do I even mean about process? I'm talking about process versus content. And this is sort of therapy speak here, but it's an important thing to understand when you're working on personal development, personal growth is what is your process. So content is the what, process is the how. So content is what's going on in your life. What are you working on? What's happening? What is the content of the stories that you're telling? The content of the things that you're doing day to day. The process is how you do those things and your internal experience of those things also. What is it like inside of you as you go through those day-to-day activities or as you're working on those projects, as you go to work or things in your career? How do you experience those? Is it pretty even keeled? Are there a lot of ups and downs? Do the ups and downs resolve really quickly, or do they kind of hang around and last a long time? Where does your focus go? Are you a creative person and do you need a lot of that involved in your process? Or are you a little bit more linear with your thinking and it's just sort of pretty cut and dry and straightforward? Okay, these are all process considerations. The reason why this is important is because if we don't understand our own process, when we are feeling like things aren't going the right way, the way they should be going, it can feel very discouraging when in reality, it might be a natural part of our process. And if we can embrace that part of our process, it can actually be one of our strengths too. I will use myself as an example. I sort of had a realization the other day about my process. I've had this realization before, but it's sort of sometimes you have these realizations and they just keep coming back to you and they're bigger and better every time. And so I was having a realization about my process that I sort of kind of go full speed ahead and then kind of hit a wall in a way. And this used to really be a not helpful part of my process because my full speed ahead was way too full speed ahead. And I often wouldn't get as much done in those full speed ahead moments as I wanted to. And then when I would hit the wall, it would be like a complete hitting of the wall and kind of, dropping away from everything and not getting anything done and different emotions in both of those kind of parts of my process. But once I became aware that this was my process, that I'm sort of it's more of a roller coaster ride for me, but once I could embrace that, then I was able to embrace the full speed ahead moments in a more thoughtful way and not really putting all of my energy or putting my expectations of like I've got to get everything done in those full speed ahead moments, and if I don't, it's the end of the world and I'll hit the wall and then I won't be able to do it. No, now I embrace those moments and capitalize on my full speed ahead moments And when I do kind of get into, it's no longer I'm like hitting a wall. It's more like, okay, I need to take a little bit of break from things and kind of breathe and reflect. And in that reflection, see how much I was able to accomplish in that moment of getting a lot of things done, that period. And feel good about myself and let myself have this sort of dip in my own sort of roller coaster and be there. And also sort of in that dip kind of get excited and look ahead about, okay, I know that I will have a period, a sort of natural period of more productivity and energy that will come for me, and kind of being more intentional about that. And so once I understood that that was my process, that it wasn't there's still some drama in there, but it's a drama that I can embrace and capitalize versus like a drama that is just taking me down a path that doesn't maybe feel the best, right? And so that's my internal process that I embrace, not not fully 100% of the time, but once I'm aware of it, sometimes if I'm going into that more down time, I will still get into, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is not where I need to be right now. I need to be working hard and all of that. And then I kind of remind myself, it's like, no, wait a second. I still have my process of being more energetic and productive that always comes back. That's my process. That's how I am. And I like that about myself in some ways, right? And being able to embrace that and accept that has allowed me to like that about myself versus I used to be hard on myself for this is my process. So no matter what your process is, there is a way to find the strength and value in it. It's about just getting to know yourself, naming your process versus the content, and just even naming it, narrating it to yourself will help you get down that road of self-acceptance. And so I hope this was helpful today. I hope my example was helpful in fostering your own confidence in your process, some self-compassion if you're being hard on yourself about your process, knowing that the process is the process. It doesn't mean that you have to sort of check all the boxes as of yesterday. The process is rich and beautiful. Enjoy your process. Take the time to really stop and smell the roses in your process, because there can be a lot of beauty and richness in your own journey, in your own process, that as you're embracing that will allow you to grow in ways that maybe you never even thought were possible. So I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.